The twin moons of the Lemurian kingdom hovered like pale lanterns over the royal citadel as the night settled across the silver plains. Inside the towering palace, built with spirals of glassy stone that glowed with inner light, a council chamber hummed with tension. The Lemurian king, a tall figure with calm gray eyes, stood at the center of the room and stared at a holographic map that displayed a growing red wave at the border of their star system. The red wave pulsed with warning signals that told of danger drawing closer. He had ruled for many cycles, and for the first time, fear pressed against his chest. The threat came from a rival species known for conquering worlds until nothing remained. Their fleets advanced without pause, and their technology matched almost every known defense the Lemurians possessed. The king had searched for allies across many star nations, but most had already pledged loyalty to the conquering force or were too afraid to join the resistance. Only one civilization had sent a message of goodwill and support. Humans from Earth had offered military aid, strategic knowledge, and ships built for unpredictable battle styles. Their history showed that they pushed back when all odds fell against them, and this trait earned a rising legend called Human First, or HFY, that spread through the galaxy. But alliances came with political price, and the Lemurian laws required a bond of unity between royal families and powerful allies if full support was to be exchanged. The king understood this law too well. He stood before his daughters, the princesses Lena and Myra, who watched him with wide violet eyes. They were twins, yet different in nature. Lena had a calm and patient energy, while Myra brimmed with fiery curiosity and strength. Both had grown up training in diplomacy and leadership. Neither imagined their father would choose them for a duty that carried such weight. He breathed in deeply and gave the order. They would marry a human. The word drifted through the chamber like a spark landing on dry wood. Lena placed a hand on her chest, while Myra stepped forward in disbelief. Their father explained the importance. The human chosen was not random. He was a pilot known across several sectors for daring missions and quick reflexes. His name was Aaron. Unlike many soldiers, Aaron had a reputation for treating alien allies with equal respect, and he had saved multiple crews in battles that seemed impossible to survive. Humans spoke of him with pride, and enemy fleets feared the sudden appearance of his fighter craft on the battlefield. For the princesses, the order was overwhelming. Lemurian traditions valued freedom of choice, and forced marriage was almost unheard of. But the law existed for times of planetary danger, and the king used it now. He assured them that Aaron was honorable and would never mistreat them. Still, their hearts felt heavy with uncertainty. Aaron arrived in the palace days later. He stepped out of his ship with calm posture, wearing a simple navy uniform. His hair was short, and his eyes held focus like a person used to making quick decisions. The princesses watched from a balcony, surprised by how ordinary he looked. They expected someone intense or intimidating from the stories. Instead, he carried the quiet confidence of a man who understood responsibility. When they met in the throne hall, Aaron bowed with respect. He addressed the king with a voice steady and clear. He admitted that he was also surprised by the sudden arrangement, but he pledged that he would honor the alliance and respect the princesses. His words held sincerity, and even Myra, who had resisted the idea the most, felt her doubt soften. The marriage ceremony was prepared quickly due to the incoming threat. Lemurian customs blended with human simplicity. A ring of light hovered around the three of them as they stood on the ceremonial platform. The bond was symbolic rather than romantic, representing unity among species. The focus was survival and alliance, yet there was a gentle dignity in the moment. For the kingdom, hope sparked in the shadows of fear. Soon after the ceremony, Aaron joined the Lemurian Defense Council. His strategic mind impressed every general. He suggested unpredictable flight patterns that human pilots used on Earth, which relied on instinct and rapid decision rather than perfect calculations. Lumerian ships were elegant and precise, but they lacked flexibility. Aaron believed merging the two styles would give them an edge. The princesses accompanied him to military briefings. Lena observed quietly and recorded data while Mira asked questions about human tactics. Aaron answered every question patiently. Over time, the sisters saw him not as an outsider forced into their lives, but as someone carrying real weight on his shoulders. He took the alliance as seriously as they did. He considered it a duty to honor, not a burden to endure. As the enemy fleet approached their sector, Aaron requested permission to train Lumerian pilots. The king agreed. The training fields buzzed with new energy. Aaron demonstrated maneuvers that seemed reckless to some pilots, until they realized how effective those moves became when applied correctly. He encouraged them to trust their instincts along with their calculations. Slowly, confidence grew among the crews. The princesses often visited the training sessions. Mira attempted to fly with Aaron once, gripping the controls while he guided her through sharp turns and sudden dives. She felt fear and excitement fused together in her chest. Aaron laughed gently and told her she had the spirit of a pilot. Lena observed from the ground and later joined him in discussing diplomatic strategies with commanders. The bond between the three of them grew through shared responsibility and pressure. The enemy fleet finally arrived. It swept into the system like a storm of black metal. Their ships were built for brute force, and their numbers outmatched the Lumerian defense. But the alliance shifted the balance. Human ships emerged from hyperspace and formed a shield around the Lumerian world. Aaron prepared for battle, and the princesses refused to stay behind. They took positions in the command tower to support communication and strategy. The first wave hit hard. Explosions lit the void, and warning signals filled the command screens. Lumerian crews followed Aaron's unpredictable maneuvers, weaving through enemy fire. Human ships attacked in quick bursts, then vanished into blind spots. The enemy struggled to adapt. Their formations grew unstable as they attempted to predict movements that made no sense to their mechanical coordination systems. Aaron's fighter flew at the front, bold and daring. Lena watched with worry, while Myra stood glued to the screen. Every time his craft spun through a narrow gap or dodged a missile by inches, they held their breath. Aaron contacted the command tower with updates in calm tone, even when his ship shook under heavy impact. His steadiness reassured everyone. But the enemy commander realized that Aaron posed the greatest threat. Several heavy fighters broke formation and targeted him. They fired in relentless pursuit. Aaron dodged, twisted, and cut through the battlefield, but the pressure increased. His ship grew damaged. He reported his condition with honesty and requested backup. The princesses exchanged a look of determination. They refused to let him face danger alone. Myra activated a channel to the nearest squad and ordered them to cover his position. Lena analyzed the enemy path and found a weak angle in their pursuit formation. She relayed the coordinates to Aaron. Following their guidance, Aaron shot through the opening like a streak of light. The enemy fighters collided with their own formation when they attempted to turn. The explosion shook the entire battlefield. Lumerian pilots cheered as Aaron regained stability. But the battle was not over. The enemy unleashed their command cruiser, a giant ship with layered armor and destructive beams capable of erasing entire outposts. The Lumerian high generals panicked. Their main cannons were already strained. The human ships held positions, but none had weapons strong enough to destroy the cruiser alone. Aaron requested permission to attempt a diversion attack. He planned to fly close to the cruiser and target a spot near its core where the armor thinned to release heat. It was risky and almost suicidal, but if he distracted the cruiser long enough, the Allied fleets could strike the exposed sections. The king hesitated, but the princesses spoke before he could respond. They stood beside Aaron on the command screen and said they believed in him. The king saw their resolve and granted permission. Aaron flew toward the cruiser with intense focus. The ship loomed ahead like a mountain of metal. Beams shot past him, lighting the void with burning trails. His ship rattled with each hit he barely avoided. He pushed forward until he reached the exposed section. Then he fired every remaining charge he had. The impact shook the cruiser, but did not destroy it. Instead, it caused the armor to shift and expose deeper layers. The combined human and Lemurian fleets fired at the vulnerable areas. Light filled the battlefield as the cruiser broke apart from the force. The explosion spread across the enemy lines. Their formations broke. The remaining ships retreated. Cheers erupted in the command tower. The kingdom was safe. The alliance had succeeded. The king felt relief wash over him. He looked at his daughters and saw pride shining in their eyes. He knew he had chosen the right ally. Aaron returned with a damaged fighter, but with steady hands. The princesses rushed to greet him. They did not embrace him, but stood close with warm relief. Aaron smiled gently, stating that the victory belonged to all of them. They corrected him, saying that he had given them hope and courage when they needed.